Welcome to the KIPP Connect Illuminate Assessments intro video, aka the Data Revolution. I'm really excited to tell y'all a little bit about what we're going to be able to do with assessments next year through Illuminate. This video does not discuss the gradebook function. We're going to learn a lot more about that in August, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys had a chance to see what assessments could do so that you can start getting excited and playing around this summer. At the school level, right now, our data systems are a little bit of an overload. We use these shared trackers to see how students are progressing on standardized tests and different metrics across the year. It is crazy. It's a lot of work for the data team, and it's a little bit difficult to process from the teacher perspective. The idea is that with Illuminate, we're going to be a lot more organized in our data systems. All of our data will be in one place, one database, and be very easy to pull out only the exact pieces, ingredients in this picture, that you need to make decisions in real time. At a teacher level, I think the assessments function is most exciting because it's going to cut down on your paperwork. Right now, grading is a huge task, and each quarter we end up with a backup stack of papers that we have to grade just before grades are due. With Illuminate, you'll be able to assess students and get the data onto the computer right away so that you can use that data to pivot your instruction to make decisions. I have a short video of myself uploading some data through Illuminate to show you guys how exciting and quick this function really is. From the student perspective, Illuminate also offers some exciting features. So with our mastery-based grading system right now, students use trackers to calculate their score across each different standard. This is a process that helps them reflect on their learning, but again is a lot of paperwork and a lot of time. With Illuminate, we'll be able to produce these pre-built reports for students for each assessment, showing them exactly how they've done versus their peers and how they performed across each standard so they know which standards they need to retest. The kids also get really excited about scanning the tests in, and I've tried it a couple times with the class of 2022. It's fun to get the whole class involved in entering the scores in. I have some quick words from Ashley Caballero and Jocelyn Zock about how they feel about Illuminate assessments. You're on video.
I like that we get to get our grades really fast. Yes.
Yeah, and everyone gets like enthusiasm, which I like because I like when people get excited and all this stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, ladies. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at what Illuminate looks like in practice. When you log into Illuminate, you'll land on your dashboard. To start using the Assessments function, I want to go up here to Assessments menu. Again, we'll have more training on the rest of the Illuminate functions in August, but today we're focused on assessments. If I want to pull up a list of tests I've already created in the software, I can go to List Assessments. Today I'm going to go to Create a New Assessment. I have options for the type of test I can create. On the fly means that I'm already in the room with kids and I want to start scanning answers into the computer right away. I'll come back later to tell the computer which answers are correct and to tie standards to each question. The option that I use most often is Manual Hybrid, which means that I'm writing the test myself and entering in the correct answers, linking standards, etc. ahead of time before I administer the test. Item Bank allows you to pull down already created tests from the district's database. This includes some Wheatley tests for those ELA teachers. However, it's really difficult to edit the Item Bank assessments, So even when I'm using pre-written tests, I like to use the manual or hybrid assessment and just type in the answers quickly myself to make sure that I can set all of the standards and answer document settings the way that I like it. Here I'll enter in the number of questions I want. Today I'll just do 3 as an example. Okay. Now I'm going to create a title for this assessment. Moving forward, we'll have naming conventions with the district. Today, we haven't yet rolled those out, so I'm just going to create a random name, and then the description is only for me to know what this test is about. The description is just to help you find your own tests later. So quickly, I need to start entering in the correct answer choices. I can specify weighting for each question if I want one question to be worth more points than another. I can also put a tag here if I want to make this a rubric question where I come back and fill in a rubric score later. I can make multiple choices correct if I want to, but for today we'll stay basic. Now once I've entered in my answer key responses, I want to go ahead and link each of my questions to a standard. So I'm going to click on this standards link. The first step, and this is also can be found under the setup menu here under standards. The first step is to choose which standards I want to link to. So I'm going to go ahead and do ELA Essential Knowledge and Skills. These are the TEKS for grade 7. So I land here in the ELA grade 7 TEKS. Any standard that I want to be able to link a question in this assessment to later, I need to check here. So I know that I'm going to want to link to standards 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to select all of those, even though they are not all going to link to question 1. I can always come back and link additional standards by going to Setup Standards, but I'm going to go ahead and try to get them all in the first time because that's just a little annoying. So link selected standards, and you can see that I can come back later and remove or link additional standards. But now that I've linked these, I'm going to go to Standards Alignment under the Setup menu because that's how I'm going to tie specific questions to the standards that I have linked. So here I am under Setup Standards Alignment, and I need to click to indicate which standard goes with which question. So my questions are on the left, my standards are across the top, and I just need to click or check these boxes to let the software know how to link the questions and standards. So maybe question 1 is fluency and vocab. Question 2 is structure. Question 3 is theme. So I've got them linked. I'm going to save this, and now these standards and questions are tied together here. So here you have a clear view of the standards aligned to each question. Making sure that you go in and align these standards is really important because this is what allows Illuminate to do a lot of the really cool data analysis for you. When you go and look at charts about mastery on standard 7.4, it's going to be pulling the data from question 2 here based on the correct answer that you've given and comparing that to the answers that you scan in. So getting all of this set up correctly, the correct answers, the correct standards linked to each question, is laying the foundation for Illuminate to make your life a lot easier. So here in the Sheet Designer, which is under the Setup menu, I can make sure that the answer document looks exactly the way that I want it to. So if I want to change the number of responses, there's a clear button for that. I've chosen in this case 4. Oftentimes it will auto-populate with 5, but it's an easy fix just by going to change number of responses. I can also change the way the question is labeled here. Maybe I want it to read question A instead of 1. And I can change how the responses are labeled. To change how the responses are labeled, I'm going to check the questions that I want to change. So in this case, all. And then come down here to responses. Let's say I want to alternate responses so that this assessment mirrors the star more closely. I'm going to enter in the alternating responses that I would like and make sure that I've got responses checked, my questions checked, hit apply. Now you can see that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. the alternating responses have been applied to my assessment. At this point, I'm ready to print answer documents for students, which is under the Administration menu. Administration, print answer sheets. So to print the answer documents under the Administration print function here, you need to select which students are going to actually receive an answer document. And you do that using these search bars. So I could just choose one student. Maybe I only want Graylin to receive an answer document. Usually you're giving assessments to your entire class. So you're going to search by teacher. I'll use Charlyn as an example. If I choose Charlyn's name, all of Charlyn's assigned students will receive an answer document. That is, the entire class of 2023 will receive an answer document. I want to make sure that I have pre-slugged checked up here at the top, because that means that each student's answer document will come out pre-labeled with their name and their identification number, allowing Illuminate to connect their responses to them in the software. If the answer documents are blank, they're versatile, but the students have to color in their identification number on their own. So a lot easier to just go ahead and print the pre-slugged. Once I've selected which students I want, I'll say generate. So you can see now that the assessment has been generated that each student in the class of 2023 in alphabetical order has an answer document that is coded specifically to them. The sheet designer let us set this up with 4 answer choices and alternating A, B, C, D, E, F, G, J rows, and everything looks in order. So I am ready to print these answer documents out, distribute them, and have the kids scan in their score. So under Administration, Scan, you'll come to the scanning page. After the first time you've used this, your camera will load automatically. The first time you will have to download a plugin. But I can set this on the teacher setting here by clicking Teacher, in which case I'll just hold up my handy dandy Scantron in front of the camera and it will grab the scores and show me that this student, which I know is connected to Rosa Fernandez, has gotten very few questions correct. If I put it on the student view and hold this in front, it gives me the student-facing response for Rodrigo. And so in this way I can just show the student their own score, and then the next student comes up and it's private. Going back to the teacher view, now I have Rosa and Rodrigo listed here. Once I've scanned all of my students' responses, the overview tab within the assessment is going to give me a lot of awesome data analysis. So we'll switch back to slides for the sake of video quality. The Overview tab within Illuminate, the very first graph you're going to see is just a breakdown of performance. You can establish what you want your bands to be, what you want the different colors on your pie chart to be in the setup drop-down for each assessment. But this is just going to give you a quick visual where your kids are. So in this example, most of the kids are advanced or proficient, and then a little less than half are sort of below that proficient line. It's going to allow you to deep dive by standard, by question, with a quick scroll down. So this graph exists right below that pie chart on the Overview tab. And it's showing you a breakdown of performance by standard. So you linked the standards to the questions, and now Illuminate is doing the work for you of analyzing that and putting together all of the questions that belong to each standard to tell you how your kids are doing. Response frequency, this is allowing you to see which distractors your students are choosing most often. So by question, it's telling you overall how many kids got it right and then which answers they chose. So this is going to let you do error analysis really quickly and visually. You can also download the data into Excel in the form that we're used to seeing it. So you'll be able to download, rows of students with columns of responses if you want to use that Excel to do any other types of analysis or calculations you're used to doing.